So my first question for you is, what do you think of this E?
My goal here was to kind of like either make the Ryan panic or slow him down a little so our team could get on him a little harder.
The problem with E, or the good and bad thing about E, is it's such a long cooldown, right? 15 seconds.
It is, yeah.
And the problem is that, I'm trying to think like what's a good way of putting it. It's a little bit like on a nade, where there will probably always be something of a use for it. So it's less about are you using it, but are you using it to its best efficiency? So like right now, is this E getting value? Of course, but that's not the question, right? The question is there a better use for it, or will there be a better use for it soon? And I think the answer to that is probably yes. So you tell me what would be potentially a better use of E, either now, 5 seconds from now, 8 seconds from now, and so on.
I could always save it for this Genji's dive onto me.
Sure. What else?
Kind of interrupt his engage. I could use it when a squishy who's probably going to die starts to try to cross. Since this Ryan is walking through, I can probably expect his team to follow.
Yeah, that's it right there. You see that? Okay. Like you think like they're going to cross. They have to cross. I mean, they can't stand at choke. They have to cross at some point. And if you have that E to punish that rotation, exactly what you did here, right? Were you E'ing the Ryan when you E'd here on the first fight? No, you're E'ing the backline. So the backline could peek, and then the Ryan was isolated, and the Ryan dies. That's more indirect pressure than it is to actually E the Reinhardt. You see what I'm saying? Now I understand right now that you're thinking, okay, well there's no backline, but there will be. There has to be. Either this Ana's going to come out here, or Genji's going to come out here, or they have to cross, because the Ryan's going to die otherwise. So something to consider. And the thing to take away from this is not something specific on Nepal or specific versus Reinhardt's. It's the fact that you can be taking these opportunities to be thinking about like when is and where is the best E value. You got to the right answer. It just took you too long. And that's something that needs to get faster over time, and something that will get faster over time. Slide ended up going to slightly to the wrong spot. Okay. This I do have a problem with. It's a problem with the Z. This time I'm not going to even I'm going to cheat for you. I'm telling you. The Z is not good. Tell me why.
Because they weren't gonna push into that anyway.
Yeah. Is there a team fight happening? Is there any sort of pressure, like serious, actual, permanent pressure from this E at all?
No.
The soldier's right. He's just throwing, and he's gonna back off. And then again, like even then, it's like, what does it actually do? Does it actually put out any serious pressure? No.
Okay.
E, what do you think?
Not great, because it's just getting the Ryan and he's getting healed.
Yeah.
And there's no way he dies.
Yeah. No serious pressure. Like proportionately, the E does a significantly lower, DPS, I guess, percentage-wise. So not as good. Not as good. What do you think?
This felt okay because I know they're on like an Orisa comp and we're on a Diva comp, so I'm trying to hope to slow the engage a little bit. Hopefully, make them want to poke more, because like with Diva, I feel like longer fights are better against like an Orisa.
Were you thinking this through as you were launching that E, or is this justifying it after the fact? Be honest with me.
I don't think I probably didn't think it through that much, honestly. Yeah. But
okay. So then let's evaluate this from what knowledge that you had at the point in time.
Okay.
And tell me, what do you think of the C?
Yeah, it looks like I'm just gonna shoot it at their team. I did know that they ran the Ryan last round, so
true. But then
slowing their engage would still be a good thing if they had the Ryan.
Potentially, but then even then, where would you want the E to be placed if they were on Ryan?
Where they're rotating through, not where they're rotating into.
Specifically where placed micro-wise, like where would you want it to be placed? In front of the Rhine? On top of the Rhine? Behind the Rhine?
Behind the Rhine.
Behind the Rhine, right. So even if this was the Orisa comp wants to push and you guys want to play it slower, or if it's a Reinhardt comp, this E still isn't perfectly placed. You would want to let them walk forward and then put it right here, right behind them.
Gotcha.
And that's something with your positioning right now that you have the easily perfect sightline to do that for, you see? So you have all the information, all the placement that you need to place a perfect E, Instead, you just rushed it.
So, can I hit it there from this range? Because I'm pretty sure it stops early, doesn't it?
You can. It will stop early, but look at where you launch it from here. Okay? And it goes all the way from this position to here. And you have laterally moved over, so a little bit of the Pythagorean theorem here, right? It's not going to go quite as far, but if they rush, you could still place it here, right? Which is where you'd want to place it anyway. And worst case scenario, you can also just aim it at the floor, so it'll actually stick where you want it to as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, wait until they, like, trying to rotate in and then do it.
Because they have to walk. They have to walk if that's what they want to do. Like 3, 2, 1. Here comes the Orisa. This E hits here. There you go. Even if you're like, I don't want to wait for the Orisa engage, but if it can actually hit a squishy mid fight, man, you like that.
This was not, yeah. This was a total, like,
big problem.
I should have gotten this eaten.
I mean, even if, okay, here's the thing. Even if it doesn't get eaten here, this is still not good. Tell me how you use your E here.
After the Orisa tries to rotate.
Right. When she walks out of that choke.
Into the doorway.
Exactly. When she walks out of that choke, you throw E right behind her, and what are they supposed to do? You see?
That's very true.
It's very difficult. Go ahead.
I don't know why my mindset is that I need to hit their rotation before they do it, where I need to be hitting it like during like mid rotation.
Exactly.
Like
where it's too late for them to back out, right? Because the thing is if you hit the Orisa after she's walked out the choke, I mean, what is it supposed to do? Walk through the E? Well, that's not going to work. Well, what's going to happen more often than not is they're going to wait for the E to expire or play like just sit here. But what's the problem with this positioning for the supports and for the DPS?
The support and the DPS, they die if they try to walk through it.
They die and they walk through it, and what if they stay?
They get no value.
They get no value. So what happens to the Orisa?
She dies.
She dies, or she gets her Fortify and her E force, and she has to run back to her team. And guess what?
Okay,
she doesn't have Fortify. Do you know how long of a cooldown Fortify is? Let's actually watch. Wait. 12 seconds. So she goes back to her team, maybe 1 HP, and pushes back out again when she has Fortify again. But what's the problem?
I have my E again.
You have your E again.
In 3 seconds.
And then you do it again. And you do it again. And you do it again. So that's the thing. That's why placement is so important. Is if you can kill pushes if you place it correctly before they even happen. So, or I guess no, not before they even happen. That's the problem. As they happen, you can kill them. There is absolutely no way that these guys should be doing this. There's absolutely no way that this should be allowed to do this. Do you see this? This fight's lost.
Yep.
You see that? That's crazy. And you see how it's also hard for you too. If that Orisa gets that much space because her supports are allowed to walk through and her DPS are allowed to walk through, look at your positioning. How much impact do you have in the fight right now?
Almost zero right
Almost
now.
Zero, right? You E poorly, you don't create space, you don't hold space, and then now it's not even a question of mechanics. Now you have no space to hit a shot. I see something's been used.
Yeah, something has been used.
Yeah, okay, listen, here's the thing. I understand this to an extent because when I was playing Sojourn, I was doing this a lot too because for some reason in my head it had like an 8-second cooldown, you know what I'm saying? But then I was like, I looked at it again, I'm like, oh my gosh, 15 seconds. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It's a lot longer than you think. So then situations like this where you like really like it to take space, you know, like even just here, like throw it inside the grab and just like you could throw it inside the grab, press Q, shift up and over the grab and completely ignore the grab and they're gonna die. That's fine. What do you think about that use of E?
I think that's fine because it denies him running onto my bat. Even though he kills my bat.
No.
Never mind, it doesn't.
Well, hang on. You're hindsight coaching here. You're hindsight coaching yourself. Was the idea and theory behind the E good?
Yes.
Then it was a good E.
Okay.
You cannot be a results-oriented like feedbacker when you're reviewing or looking at your own games.
Okay.
That's lazy.
Yeah.
What do you think?
This was me trying to punish the Genji, but I don't think we had enough pressure up here, and I think him having his Ana here means he doesn't die even if he just walks through
Yeah,
it, so
maybe.
it's bad E.
It's not. I would disagree. I would not say it's a bad E. I just would say it's a better E, because the problem with saying it's a bad E is we have seen some truly bad E's this map.
That's a
right?
good point.
So then the problem with that is then you start thinking about the little micros, when all you really need to do is just cut the really low hanging fruit out with your E's, and you're going to be significantly better. So focus on the easy stuff right now. Don't get distracted, boggled down with like the, oh, that E technically could have been better. Who cares? It was fine. Okay. So remember, we coach things based off of intention, not execution. Now, if the execution is really bad repeatedly, I might bring that up as something worth practicing. But intention here.
Intention's good.
What do you think? Intention's good.
Trying to
what are you doing?
Rotation.
Yeah. And where's that placement?
I missed the floor.
Right, you missed the floor. But if the E lands here, the impact is significant. In fact, it's perfect. It's exactly what we want. It probably forces Moirafane. It splits the Orisa. It forces the Cassidy back. And again, it's not just about splitting the Orisa. Again, if that Cassidy has to back, what is his impact on the fight from this positioning to this positioning?
Almost nothing.
Almost nothing. Right.
A really stupid teammate.
Right. And again, that's all about, will you kill the Orisa? No, but you will force spin, you will force fortify, and you will force a lot of HP, positive HP trade for you guys that will give you guys space. So I like it. I respect the E. It doesn't work out, but I respect it nonetheless.